It happens to everyone. Someone attacks your character. They question your competence at work. They spread a rumor in your social circle. They leave a scathing comment on your work. The instinct is primal. It's immediate. You feel the rush of adrenaline. Your ego screams, "Fight back. Prove them wrong. Explain yourself." You draft the angry email. You confront them in the hallway. You type out a 5-paragraph essay in the comment section detailing exactly why they are an idiot. You think you are defending your honor. You think you are setting the record straight. But according to the master of dark psychology, Niccolò Machiavelli, you have just made a fatal error. By defending yourself, you haven't preserved your power. You've just given it away. Welcome to the deep end of psychology. Today, we are dissecting one of the most counterintuitive, dangerous, and effective principles of power: the art of never defending yourself. Why is the urge to defend ourselves so strong? It's rooted in a psychological concept called loss aversion, specifically applied to our ego. We perceive an attack on our reputation as a mortal threat. But here is the uncomfortable truth that Machiavelli understood 500 years ago. The moment you react to an accusation, you validate it. Think about the dynamics of power. Who holds the frame? The person asking the questions or the person answering them? The accuser or the accused? When you defend yourself, you enter the attacker's reality. You are playing their game, on their board, by their rules. You are signaling to everyone watching, and crucially, to your attacker, that their opinion has value, that it has the power to disturb your emotional equilibrium. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince about the importance of maintaining an aura of majesty and control. A prince who is easily rattled, who jumps at every shadow and argues with every peasant, is not respected. He is seen as weak. In modern psychology, we see this play out constantly. Think of the Streisand effect. By trying frantically to suppress information or defend against a claim, you end up drawing vastly more attention to it than if you had simply ignored it. Your defense is often more memorable than the initial attack. When you rush to explain, you sound guilty. You sound desperate. You sound like someone who has something to hide. You become the puppet, dancing to the tune of the person holding the strings. And the more you dance, the more tangled the strings become. So, if we don't defend ourselves, do we just let people walk all over us? No. That is the pacifist's way, not the Machiavellian's way. Machiavelli isn't teaching weakness. He is teaching supreme, calculated strength. He is teaching you to shift from reactive defense to strategic offense through non-action. Because the most powerful response to a petty attack isn't a counterattack. It is total, dismissive silence. In the realm of deep psychology, this is sometimes called the gray rock method, often used against narcissists. You become as uninteresting and unreactive as a gray rock. But Machiavelli takes it further. It's not just about being boring. It's about being above the fray. When you refuse to defend yourself against a baseless accusation, you create a vacuum. Human beings hate vacuums. They want to fill them with noise. Your attacker expects a fight. They need your reaction to fuel their own relevance. By denying them that fuel, you starve their fire. You force them to keep yelling into the void, which eventually makes them look unhinged, obsessive, and petty. Furthermore, silence allows the imagination of the audience to work in your favor. If you defend yourself poorly, you confirm your mediocrity. If you remain silent with an air of supreme confidence, people begin to wonder. Why aren't they worried? Do they know something we don't? Are they so powerful that this doesn't even register to them? You replace their certainty with doubt, and in the fog of doubt, power thrives. Now, here's a crucial caveat. Machiavelli was practical. If someone is physically attacking you or facing you with a lawsuit that could bankrupt you, you defend yourself vigorously. We are talking about the psychological realm, reputation, gossip, social maneuvering, and office politics. We are talking about the arena of noise, not the arena of swords. How do you apply this 16th century Italian political theory to your 21st century life? It requires discipline. It requires overriding your wiring. Scenario 1. The workplace saboteur. A colleague tries to throw you under the bus in a meeting, claiming you missed a deadline that wasn't yours. The reactive move. You interrupt. Your voice raises an octave. You say, "Actually, if you check the email from Tuesday, you'll see that was Dave's responsibility." You look flustered. You look like you're fighting for your life in the mud. The Machiavellian move. You pause. You hold eye contact with them for 2 seconds too long. A look of mild amusement, like watching a child throw a tantrum. Then, you calmly turn back to the boss and continue your presentation exactly where you left off, addressing only the facts that matter to the objective. You don't even acknowledge their interruption. You treat their input as noise. Scenario 2. The online troll. Someone leaves a hateful comment on your content intended to trigger you. The reactive move. You reply with a snarky comeback. They reply back. Now you're in a 50-comment thread arguing with user 789 at 2 a.m. The Machiavellian move. You delete the comment. Or better yet, you leave it there, unanswered, a monument to their irrelevance. You recognize that your attention is a currency, and they cannot afford it. The key technique here is the strategic pause. Before you react, take a breath. Ask yourself, does responding to this increase my power or decrease it? 9 times out of 10, silence is the louder statement. Niccolò Machiavelli taught us that the appearance of power is often as important as power itself. True power is autonomous. It doesn't rely on the validation of others, and it certainly doesn't lower itself to wrestle with every passerby who throws a stone. When you constantly defend yourself, you are telling the world that your self-worth is up for negotiation. Stop negotiating. The next time you feel the sting of an accusation and the burning desire to set the record straight, remember the Machiavellian paradox. Let your enemies scream. Let them exhaust themselves punching the air. You have an empire to build, and you don't have time for the noise. If you want to master the deeper laws of human nature, subscribe. We're just getting started.